Hey everybody, Q here from Ianti, and today we're going to be going over a little bit of the technical analysis that we're using on Canopy Growth Corporation, or CGC, which is a popular marijuana stock. It has been the top performing marijuana company ever since the marijuana boom happened. It is currently trading at, I believe, $46.26. Just under its recent highs, and we are seeing what it's going to be doing next based on the technical analysis and what's been happening with it also as well. So first of all, I want to point out that today Canopy Growth had a very good day. The candle it had engulfed the previous day candle, which if you are a technical analysis expert or if you know a lot about candlestick charts, you would know that full engulfing of a candlestick is when a candle engulfs the body of another candle, such as this. So you can see here that yesterday was red, and the very next day, which was today, the green candle engulfed the previous candle. So the body of it was much larger. So typically you want to look for something that is 2 or 3 times the size of the previous body, and this means that we have a bullish move because it is a green candle engulfing a bear candle. And so CGC appears to be consolidating in between these two lines that I have drawn out over here. It looks like it's setting up for another bullish flag pattern. So these right here, these candles that we see, we're setting up the bullish flag, and now the stock is consolidating in between these two lines. Eventually what we wanted to do is to break over this line. And so I am doing this live. I did not practice for this video at all. So let's go ahead and try to figure out what I would do if I was looking at this chart without having any experience looking at it before. So let's go ahead and draw out our highs and lows and resistance points. And so I'm going to draw out a line, just a straight line on this chart, and I'm actually going to delete these two lines so that way we can see that clearly. So when I draw this line, it's meant to kind of tell me the next point that I'm looking for the stock to break above for me to know that it's going to make a much higher move. And so the stock resisted at this very point right over here, in which the green candle, this one specifically that I'm pointing out with my cursor, did not break above. So the stock resisted at this very point, and there you go. Now we have a resistance line in which we're looking for the stock to break above. If the stock does break above this line, then we would expect it to push a lot more as long as it has the volume. So now that we have this resistance line in place, we want to look for other key things that I look at when I'm confirming that that's the resistance line, and that would be this green candle right over here. So when the stock opened up on this very day, if you know anything about candlestick charts, you would know that the stock opened up on this day at this very point right over here, the bottom of the candle body, and it pushed all the way up to the high was 51.81, and that's on the top of the screen right there. It says OHLC. The high was 51.81. So the stock attempted to break above this resistance line, looks like on February 4th, but did not have enough bullish volume. Therefore, it got pushed back down and closed at 49.72. So the stock kept getting pushed down, and then when it broke under this blue line right over here, which is the 20-day moving average, the stock had a very poor day. Therefore, the volume was very bad on the bearish side. So it had a very strong bearish move. However, the stock quickly recovered the next day and it was pushed back up. However, it did not push up enough to break over that resistance line that we previously drew out. So the stock has been consolidating, but now we want to look for a support area. So we've already found our resistance line. Let's go ahead and look for our support area. And so I'm going to draw out another line, and I'm going to look for the key support areas, which at this very point would be right over here, right where this candle closed. This red candle right over here. So now that we have this area of support and resistance, now we know where the stock is consolidating. Now we know that if the stock breaks under this area, then we have a bearish move by the stock, and if it breaks over, then it's going to be a bullish move. For now, it's not really clear what the stock is going to do. However, today, on February 26th, the stock had a very strong day, as we mentioned in the beginning of the video. What is another key thing that I'm looking at, other than this bullish engulfing, is the fact that the stock closed above the 10-day moving average. So as a short-term trader, as a day trader, we're looking at the 10 and 20-day moving averages because they are key lines that tell us where the trend is going to go. And so because the stock closed above the 10-day moving average and had strong bullish volume, now this is not very strong, but it's still significant to what it's been doing lately, because it looks like in the previous few days, the bearish sentiment was not too strong. You see how the volume kind of averaged out, and there was a lot of wicks on the bottom of the candles, which means that there was a lot of bullish move, and the bearish move was not able to push it under this support line. So what we're looking for next is another continuation candle. So if tomorrow we have another green candle by the stock, and which we should, because a lot of good news is coming out about marijuana companies right now. Marijuana is getting legalized all over the states. It's still not federally legal, but it's promising enough, and a lot of international countries are also starting to use medicinal marijuana in their pharma industries, and so that's going to be very large. And now CGC, being one of the most promising leaders with a huge investment from Constellation, we should see that the stock rally in the next few days. And so we are looking for the stock to break over this resistance line, which is at $50.74. So what do we have here? The stock looks like it's forming something called an ABCD pattern. So right here we have our breakout point. So right here the stock is forming A. Let's go and actually write that out for you. So right here the stock is forming A. Right here we have B. Sorry, this is probably terrible writing. See, B. And then here we're seeing C. So the stock is stopping right over here, which means you want to set a stop loss at C if you are looking to do a swing trade on this. And finally, this very point right over here would be D. So the breakout point that we're looking for would be considered D. If the stock does indeed break over this point, I wouldn't jump in right away, but I would look for that volume. If there's enough bullish volume on the stock during this breakout, then it can very much rally to the very next level. So now we ask, what is the next level? Let's go ahead and reset and remove all these indicators and all these drawing tools. What is the very next level? The very next level would come by drawing another line. So let's go ahead and draw another line. Let's call this a resistance line. This is where we want to put our next resistance level. The next resistance level is going to be formed right where the previous high of the stock was. So previous to this very point right over here, where was the last high of the stock that it not break over? This was here. The stock, its last high was at this very point, right where this red candle had closed before. Therefore, if the stock does indeed break over this point that we previously mentioned, we're looking for it to break over this point, and then the new resistance line would be at this very point. But that's not a very strong resistance line. So even if it does break over these two very points, it does not mean that the stock will continue to rally. The stock will definitely continue to rally, though, if it breaks over this high right over here. So keep in mind, these are all resistance areas. And the most key resistant area we have here is this green candle, meaning that that is closed at $56.89. So $56.89 is the next price target for the stock to break over, for it to have a very strong rally, because that'll be its very next 52-week high. So when the stock hits its new high, it means that there's a lot of bullish sentiment. Therefore, it is indeed a good trade. So now let's go ahead and review. We've mentioned that we have 3 resistance points. I know it can get a little bit messy. The primary resistance point that we're looking at is this very point right over here, which is at $50 and I would say 90 cents, it looks like. So that would be the primary resistance point. We're looking for it to break over. Then the next resistance point would be this very point right over here where this red candle closed, which was at 53.01. And then finally, the next resistance point would be at 56.89. So we're looking for it to break over these 3 resistance points, with this being the very most important. I tried to make this video pretty short and simple. I hope it was helpful. If there is anything you would like to hear or see from us at Ianti, please go ahead and comment. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Again, thank you for watching. This is Q from Ianti Trading. If you want to follow us on Instagram as well, go ahead and follow us. It is Ianti Trading. Thank you.